All right, what's up, everyone? Sorry for the delay. Was doing some behind the scenes stuff, but of course I'm here now. Three games once again tonight. Nothing new. We've seen this the last few nights. We're going to be seeing 3-2 for the rest of the playoffs. So get used to it because this is all we got left in the rest of the NHL playoffs. So. Did Jake die? No, he did not. Jake is right here, ready to bank some tourneys. So hope you guys are ready as well. Hopefully you guys did well last night. If not, tonight's a new night. If you're chasing after the 10, got to get a top 5 score to profit, basically. But yeah, fresh haircut must be date night or wedding this weekend. No, none of the above. Just needed a haircut. It's getting too long. You really looked for half an hour for the shirt. No. I know where the shirt's at. I didn't bust it out today. I got a Minnesota. Is this what? Yeah, this is a Wild shirt. St. Patrick's Day Wild shirt. The Stars did look great last night. Yeah, that game was over pretty quick. So, I actually, oddly enough, needed some more Dallas 3, which I didn't really intend to be on, but I guess I ended up on some Dallas 3, and basically all of them were with Colorado 1 or Boston 1. So, that's why you get to Dallas 3 sometimes with a bunch of lineups, even though you don't really like them. Boston-Toronto game, that was great. I agree. Awesmo guys need a short version of content for NBA, NHL, and MLB, like 4 corner segments for all sports. We're working on it. That's actually where I was. We were talking about content, mostly MLB stuff, but was talking to the bosses. So that's why I was a little bit late, but appreciate you guys hanging on and continuing to give me likes and stuff, make me look good in front of the bosses. So. Not a ton different to talk about tonight, but we're going to go through each game, try to get you out of here by 5 Eastern, and then it's lineup building time. I haven't done a ton of building today, but there's no – I'm not on the MLB show tonight, so I will be watching. I'll be building lineups for MLB, be building lineups for NHL, and listening to Chris and Josh, I believe. They're on tonight for a 5-game slate, so get your entries in. Feel free to tune into that. Deeper Dive is going to start actually probably in like 15, 20 minutes actually. And of course you want to watch that as well. Adam and Laffy breaking it down. Diving deep, the Deeper Dive. I don't know that there's a better, more in-depth show than that around the industry. If there is, feel free to let me know. But those guys are really awesome. What they do for MLB, NBA is the same. I just don't understand the analysis as much. I understand basketball. I just don't understand how to play NBA DFS because I am the biggest fish ever in MLB. Freudian slip. Maybe in MLB. It actually hasn't been going too well, but I meant to say NBA. All right. Yeah, I love your content, even though you're a Cubs fan. Yeah, what's wrong with being a Cubs fan? I don't even know what the record is this season, honestly. I don't pay attention to wins and losses. It's kind of bad, but I'm assuming they'll be around the hunt to make the playoffs. And once it becomes playoffs time, I stop rooting for my DFS teams for MLB. You know, there's football going on. There's hockey starting back up around that time. So then I become just a Cubs fan for the most part. Basketball is tough. Yes, it is tough. All right, let's do this. Hopefully I didn't miss too much news. I don't think there's anything major outside of maybe this first game. We've got a 2.8 implied total for the Caps, 3.2 for the Hurricanes. Braden Holtby and Peter Mrazek in net. Per usual, Niederreiter, Aho, Teravainen. So it's not going to be Williams again. They stuck with Carolina 1, this Carolina 1, basically the whole game. Things got a little bit switched up because Svechnikov got injured, got punched multiple times by Ovechkin. So he is out, concussion protocol. I did see him skating around in morning skate, I saw one of the beat writers tweeted out a video, but he is not ready to play tonight. So it's too bad because he's an exciting player. He's an important player for Carolina. They're also missing Furland, so Fogle will go back up with Stahl and Williams. And I believe we've got some sort of a sample on this line, and I think it's a really, really good sample. Let me make sure that I'm not just making things up. But I'm going to check this line on Natural Stat Trick. I believe they're really, really good possession-wise. Fogle, Stahl, and Williams. Oh, maybe they haven't gone together. Maybe I'm thinking of Furland. Am I thinking of Furland? Warren Fogle. Okay. Oh wait, I'm in the playoffs. No wonder. 184 minutes. Yeah, they're incredible. Almost 80 Corsi 4 per 60, a 64.3 Corsi 4 percentage, 3.6 expected goals for per 60, 34 scoring chances, 16.6 high danger chances per 60. That's absolutely outrageous. 180 minute sample too. So, maybe they're not the best finishers, but for me, it's going to be a lot of Aho, Niederreiter, Teravainen. It's going to be a lot of Stahl, Fogle, and Williams. Teams rarely grade out well against Carolina for me when Carolina's at home, just because they get outshot so often. The Caps do tend to do okay with limited shots, though. So, once again, I think I'm going with Backstrom, Ovi, and Oshie if I'm going to the Capitals. I'm not super interested in either of the other two lines. Kuznetsov with... Backstrom, Ovechkin, and Oshie. Okay, so they put this line back together. The Kuznetsov, Vrana, and Wilson line, I know they actually have really good offensive numbers and really bad defensive numbers, if I am remembering correctly. Just really super high event. So I'm going to check on them really quick. I felt like I knew that Oshie was back on line one, but maybe I just wanted to think I knew that. But anyways, Vrana. Yeah, this line really, really high event. So 16.7 high danger chances against. That equates to a lot of expected goals against. Still, their expected goal percentage is over 50. So they're really, really good, actually. 5-on-5. So the problem is... Well, actually, no, the problem is not anything. The Stahl line's going to go up against Williams. I'm trying to talk too fast. The Stahl line is going to go up against Backstrom, Ovi, and Oshie for the most part. Could be a bit of a hard match. And then the Aho line going to go up against Kuznetsov, Vrana, and Wilson, as well as the Eller line. So really like these top two lines for Carolina. Of course, I side with the first one. But it's hard to argue with the price of this line and a line that just has really sick offensive numbers. Even though they aren't the greatest of finishers, it's probably going to be pretty frustrating to watch them if you are watching this game, because they're going to get a lot of easy chances and maybe not finish them. But at some point, you hope the chances pile up and they pay off for their cheap price tag. I like the Backstrom line in that I think it's... Actually, I don't know, man. I don't really love the Backstrom line now that I'm thinking of it more and more. I did try to make ownership projections just based on the last few slates that we've had for the playoffs, because we've seen mostly the same matchups. And in the last game, game 3, which was also in Carolina, it was similar goal total, similar basically everything outside of a couple players that weren't playing. Or they're not playing tonight, Svechnikov and Furland. Yeah, there's an NBA show later, I think. If there is an NBA show, it would be with Fast Eddie Fear. If not, go to Premium Slack. Talk about baseball. We have 3 baseball shows a day. You've got more than enough options if you're looking for baseball. The deeper dive starts at 5 Eastern. So Adam and Laffy, you just got to wait 22 more minutes, and you can watch some baseball talk, and the best baseball talk out there, honestly. So if you can wait 22 minutes, Mr. Mac and Cheese, I think you'll be okay. right now we're talking hockey. We've still got 56, 58 people watching right now, trying to get that one last bink before we get down just showdown slates. So, all right, fine, yeah. Sorry you have to wait 22 minutes for free content. I apologize. Really good free content, actually. Okay. It's going to be a lot of Carolina for me. That's really all you need to know. You guys really didn't need me on to talk about this game. You knew I was going to play Carolina. Falk, not a good player. If you're playing him, it's just because he is top power play and you're correlating. It's understandable. Short slate, I get it. He's going to be lower owned than Hamilton and maybe even Slavin. I really do love Hamilton and Slavin, though. So feel free to kind of take your pick there. Hamilton would be my number one guy, then Slavin after that, then Falk. On the other side, Carlson let me down pretty heavily, actually. I think I'm still going to him in like 15, 20% of my lineups tonight. And that's really going to be about it because it's just not a great matchup against Carolina. Like, they just limit shots, and man, it just feels like no one really ever goes off against them when they're in Carolina. But Carlson does still project out well, so try to trust my projections as much as possible because those are the ones I actually use. So if you're using mine and you don't like the Carlson you're getting, maybe just bump him down, give him a thumbs down or something. You'll bump him down 8% or so. All right, Blues and Jets. We have a 2.7 implied total for the Blues, 2.8 for the Jets. Binnington, Hellebuck, no changes there. Lines are the exact same, at least the top three for each team. For me, it is... Well, actually, let's just talk about last game a little bit. I am a little bit puzzled as to what happened when the Blues were at home. Both games, really. St. Louis 1 just got outplayed, frankly, which sucks. The Blues in general, they got outplayed the entire game, really. 16 high danger chances against, 37 scoring chances against, compared to 6 high danger chances for and 23 scoring chances for. So they deserve to lose that game, game 4 for sure. This one's going to be tough because the O'Reilly line and the Scheifele line are basically going to go up against each other every game this series, however long it goes. And Winnipeg 1 was just way better last game. It wasn't even close when they were on the ice together. So that is a bit of a concern. I still am playing St. Louis 1. I'm not really scared to target them here. I think they're going to be okay more often than not here. But I'm just getting to a spot where I'm more likely to play Winnipeg 1. Looking at my last crunch that I did before I got on here, I did still have more St. Louis 1 than Winnipeg 1, but it was by a couple percentage points. So nothing crazy there. I'm looking to be pretty spread out tonight with what I'm doing. I'm making exposure caps because, like I said, I'm trying to make some makeshift ownership projections based on the last few slates with all these teams being basically in the same matchups. So going to be pretty spread out. If I had to choose just one line in this game, man, it would probably still be St. Louis 1, but I'm close. I don't really know what I think right now of St. Louis 1. I'm just really sad with how they've played. Not sad, but I'm just kind of bummed that they're not dominating the way that I figured they would. And get that, like, we've gotten them at low ownership. I think we're going to get them at low ownership here as well. So yeah, the other side, like I mentioned, Winnipeg 1 is perfectly fine. Winnipeg 2, never really my favorite line. I'm not a Brian Little guy. I am an Ehlers guy, and I'm not really a Line A guy. So it makes that line tough to stack, even when they're this cheap. I don't know that I necessarily believe in them. Line A scores every game against the Blues for whatever reason, except for last game. So maybe a little bit of a tougher matchup for St. Louis 1 than I anticipate, or St. Louis 2 than I anticipated the last couple times. But I think they're going to go up against Bozak Maroon and Robert Thomas for the most part. I think the Hayes line might see the most time against the Sundqvist line. And then Little Ehlers and Line A get the third and fourth lines. For the Blues, this third line I actually really respect. So I think you can go to them if you are playing a bunch of lineups. They just allow you to get everything in full power play correlation in the second unit, which I mentioned does get a little bit of more run than you might see for some other teams' second power play units. They take a lot of penalties, St. Louis. Not during the regular season, they didn't. Let's see how the series has been in that regard. We can look that up quick. Time shorthanded. Winnipeg, 14 in 4 games. That's not terrible. St. Louis, 10 in 4 games. That's actually really good. 2.5 times shorthanded per game would be a really, really good mark. So, yeah, they're not taking penalties. St. Louis should have, based on how they played the first 2 games, they should have easily been able to get a win at home and have a commanding 3-1 lead, but they did not. And now they're on the verge of really, really being in trouble. Yeah, Ryan H. is completely correct. Season-wise, they're one of the most disciplined, and the Jets one of the worst. Exactly. So I thought that was another big edge for the Blues. But I'm nervous with my Blues pick here. We shall see. Pietrangelo and Bufflin and Trouba and all these guys. I kind of like Trouba, actually. He's grading out really well for me. So it's weird to see an E value grade from Alex from Osimo. I wonder if that's a typo. Maybe it's the power play 2 tag. I'm not exactly sure. You'd like him to be on the top power play. Bufflin was back there, though, the last couple games. I do have some Bufflin, but I actually have more Trouba right now. That might get evened out as I make some more rules in my crunches. But, yeah, Trouba is actually grading out really, really well for me. Pietrangelo, I'm getting to a little bit. It's probably still going to be like under 10%. I've got Pietrangelo projected, like ownership-wise, he is like 10%. So, going to be right around the field with Pietrangelo. Looks like I'm going to be a little below on Bufflin, and then, of course, well above on Trouba, it's looking like. Where I actually have Trouba at? Yeah, I've got Trouba at 6.9%. Nice. I'd be more comfortable playing like 17, 18, 20% of him. I think he does have upside on his own, and he's going to play a lot with Winnipeg 1 at 5-on-5, I would imagine. Winnipeg defense is healthy, which is not the case for most of the season. Yeah, that's certainly true. Morrissey and Trouba and Bufflin, I think, were all hurt at times. So yeah, that did make, and Myers actually too. So I think all their guys were really hurt at one point. Trouba over Big Buff. I think you should consider playing Trouba as a one-off over Big Buff, maybe. If you're correlate, like if you have Winnipeg 1 and you can fit Bufflin, like play Bufflin because of the power play. But just a way to differentiate. Yeah, I don't know if I would even do it with one lineup, but if you did have this, like let's say you have 10 Winnipeg 1 stacks, if you wanted to play Trouba in 2 or 3 of them to be different, I think that's okay. Bennington was the only reason Winnipeg didn't get smoked last game. You mean St. Louis? I think maybe you mean St. Louis. Yeah. Bennington's been uneven, but they really let him down the last 2 games. St. Louis played terribly the last 2 games. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, okay. I got you, Ray Rock. All right, let's move it on here. Like I mentioned, St. Louis won. I'm getting to a bunch of St. Louis won again, but more Winnipeg won than I was on a couple days ago. And then the third line I like a little bit for the Blues as well. Stone is MVP of first round. Yeah, he definitely is. Someone mentioned in the chat before I got on, Stone is fitting in well. Stone will fit in well anywhere. Stone is incredible. That guy's just a pure stud. So good offensively, defensively. Didn't he get nominated for the Selke? I'm pretty sure he did. That guy's crazy. So, anyway, speaking of Mark Stone, his Golden Knights on the road looking to close out the Sharks. 3 implied total for the Golden Knights, 3.2 for the Sharks. Marc-Andre Fleury and Martin Jones in net. We have looking like old lines back for the Sharks. I just want to make sure this is correct because I think I was on this call when they were skating this morning. So I'm going to go to Votz's Twitter list and go to San Jose Sharks. All right. Let's see. Oh, I see Timo talking. Vlasic and Thornton in. Looks like Tim Heed and Radill are out. Okay. Looks like Donskoy's in off the ice before Radill. Wait, Donskoy. Oh, okay. Donskoy's on the fourth line. God. That's frustrating because I wanted to play Kane, Hurdle, and Nyquist together. Or not Nyquist. I wanted to play Kane, Hurdle, and Donskoy together at low ownership. But anyways, we will not get a chance to do that. This series, I think, more than anything, is just more about feel and ownership. I'm just trying to get on the opposite side of what the public's doing. Martin Jones, there's a very good chance he's just broken right now, and he's just going to, choke away another game here and just be his bad self. If I had to guess, I think St. Louis. I think San Jose wins this game. I think they get it back to Vegas, and then Vegas probably finishes them off there. Vegas thinks so too. More often than not, San Jose should win a home game against the Golden Knights. The problem is, Dell might be worse than Jones. Dell hasn't done anything to steal the job from the Sharks, so it's just the lesser. If you're going to you're going to Dell, you're just going to Dell to make a change, and I don't really believe in making a change just to make a change. Like I mentioned in the Stacks article, if you guys didn't read that, let's actually. Do we have that? Let me pull up a link to the Stacks article. So I will shamelessly plug this because you should be reading the Stacks article. It's kind of like the first look. If you do like to stack, maybe I can sway you on to get you onto someone that maybe you weren't looking at based on some line matching stuff that I like to look at, that I look at for basically every slate. So read that article. And I was mentioning in there, they kind of, like the Sharks have played okay at 5-on-5. I just, Vegas has just been better at finishing their opportunities. They've been better on the power play and stuff. They have just as good, if not better, skill position players. They probably have better skill players. I want to get a t-shirt that says Vegas 2. Yeah, we basically all need to at this point, right? There's nothing to stop the Vegas floodgates from opening if Jones gives up an early one. Yeah, that's kind of been the issue. These are human beings. They do deal with confidence issues, I'm sure, at some point. Not just hockey players, but, man, I can't imagine being a goalie and not being able to play confidently, your team down 3-1. So I don't know. I can't get inside Martin Jones' head, but again, I really want to make a little bit of a stand on Vegas 1. I want to play more of Vegas 1 than Vegas 2, or at least similar. I think the ownership is going to be in Vegas 2's favor. Right now, I have Stone roughly projected as the highest owned player with Pacioretty 4 or 5% behind. So like Stone at 24, 25%, Stone at or Pacioretty at like 20, and then Stastny would be 22, 23. So obviously my ownership projections, my makeshift ownership projections that I cooked up in Excel in half an hour aren't perfect, but they kind of get me to where I need to be based on these last couple slates. So I think we're going to see Vegas 2 chalk once again. I really can't argue with it. I think they're probably the best play on the night, or like they have the clearest path. You don't see a super great defensive line here for the Sharks that could shut them down. It's not going to be a hard match. I think they could generate against literally any line in the NHL. Sans, Boston 1 maybe, but they're just so good 5-on-5 that it's honestly not going to matter who they go up against in this game. I don't think they're going to be able to generate chances. They're probably the scariest line to fade here based on how they've played, based on what they did in the regular season. Sharks have a ton of offensive talent and will be half owned of what Vegas will be. Yeah, so that's where I'm getting to. Is just I think the hate's gone a little bit too far on the Sharks. I really love this Couture, Meyer, Pavelski line. Just in general, I play them as much as I can. I think they can generate against either of the Vegas lines, really all of the Vegas lines. So that's the line I really want to play a lot of. If you like Kane, Hurdle, and Nyquist, I think that's a fine option. They're just more of a secondary play for me. And yeah, it's going to be mostly the top lines here for me. Carlson, Marchessault, Smith, Meyer, Couture, Pavelski. I will be, I don't want to make it seem like I'm not playing any Vegas 2. I am going to play some Vegas 2, but it'll probably be, 10 to 12% rather than 25, 30, which I think you would need to get a decent edge on the field. And maybe even more than that if they're going to be 20, 25% owned. So the path of least resistance, I love Vegas 2. You guys have heard me talk about them for weeks now, regular season and stuff. I think they're amazing, and DFS is about ownership, so you need to factor that in. No one's gonna play Jones. Yeah, let us eat, CJ. I agree. No one's gonna play Jones. I get it. I don't really want to play Jones, but he is a home favorite goalie on a team that their backs are against the wall. Whatever cliche you want, they need to win this game. Everyone is going to be locked in. Whether or not they win this game, I don't know. As we saw with Tampa, they had 3 must-win games and they lost them all. So, whatever. I'm just playing the percentages here. SJ1, going to be over on Jones, I'm sure. Going to be under on Fleury. Going to be over on Vegas 1 and under on Vegas 2. I will be over on Vegas 3, though. That is the third line that I really like. Love Alex Tuck. I actually don't think Nosek is that bad. And then Eakin, power play 1, whatever. He doesn't really do much, but he has had a couple big performances that I didn't really think he's capable of. Theodore is also my preferred play. Once again, talk about a stud. Theodore he's a hell of a player. So 5,100, and just so skilled. I don't know how great he is defensively. I don't really look at that stuff that much, but for DFS, he is phenomenal. Weak goals going in every 5 shots can be a confidence killer. That is correct. What are your thoughts on why Vegas 1 can't put up better numbers this series? There's no reason that they shouldn't be, I think. Let me check on their numbers for the entire series. Playoffs 2019. All right. 32 minutes they've played. Looking at rates is a little bit misleading for 32 minutes, but 70.8 Corsi for per 60, 47 Corsi against per 60. That's really good. 31 scoring chances for per 60. That's really good. 19 high danger chances per 60. That is incredible. I mean, they've been dominant at 5-on-5, or they've been not Yeah, I would say dominant, actually, almost 60 Corsi for percentage. They've been really awesome at 5-on-5. There's no reason that they shouldn't be finishing some of these chances. They play on the power play together. So, yeah, I just think Vegas 2 is going to get a little bit too much ownership in the context of the slate where we've got a bunch of really good lines to choose from. If they come in 15%, then I'm just wrong. If they come in 12%, I'm just wrong. But I think they're going to be more closer to 20% or so as a trio. Whereas I think you might get San Jose 1 at 13, 14, 15, which I would prefer if I'm doing one lineup. Burns, 6,800. Carlson, 6,300. I think Carlson is hurt. There's been some rumblings that he is hurt. I don't know. He doesn't look 100% when you watch him. Again, I always give the caveat. I'm not the best judge for talent or, diagnosing injuries from my couch. But he did attempt 7 shots last game. So there is that. He is still generating some offense for DFS. I still think he's okay. Burns, on the other hand, 2 shot attempts last game at all strengths in 23 minutes. To Carlson's 8. I think it was similar in the last game as well. Game 3 was similar in that Burns only had 3 shot attempts. So I'm a little worried about Burns for 6,800. I don't know if Vegas is doing something in their scheme to try to avoid shots from Burns from the point. Yeah. Stastny screws that line for DFS. He can be non-existent. Yeah, I mean, you're looking for assists more from Stastny. He's oftentimes not going to be the one doing the goal scoring there. But yeah, Vlasic back. That's probably a little bit of a bump down to Burns and Carlson's minutes. Maybe they go from 25-ish to 23 or 22. Really, it's going to be a bump down for guys like Braun and Dillon. So wouldn't be too worried about the minutes for Burns and Carlson. Still going to play both of them. They're going to be pretty even for me. Again, not making a major stand. It's really tough to decide between those two if you're making just one lineup. So that is the slate. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. If you haven't, feel free to give us a like. Makes me look good. Hopefully they'll bring me back for next season and we can continue to hit the ice and have some co-hosts on so you don't just have to hear me ramble for 45 minutes to an hour. Hopefully we'll be doing some showdown articles, just general strategy. I think I have some from last year that I can build on for just general showdown strategy because we're going to get down to 2 and 1 game slates, and DK and FanDuel love a good rate grab, so they'll probably, when it goes down to 2 slates or 2 game slates, they'll probably just make 2 showdown slates, honestly. Showdown NHL is fun. I have no issue with it. I think there is an edge in it, so maybe we'll stream a couple days for showdowns if people are interested. But if not, then we'll be in Slack, and we'll be talking over the plays and who to fade and how to construct lineups and all that good stuff. Looks like no questions anywhere that I'm seeing, so that'll be it for me. I will let you guys watch the deeper dive. Go watch that if you play MLB DFS, or even if you don't, because they're entertaining. A lot of very good analysis on their show. And then make sure you check back with Live Before Lock with Chris Spags and Josh. I'm sure they'll be talking baseball. They'll be talking their lineups, their exposures, all that stuff. Plus, when it's those two, it is always an entertaining show for other reasons because they like to go off on tangents. They like to keep it spicy, as they say. So, all right, cool. Good luck tonight, guys. Jim, yeah, what's up? Why do you say Jake? I'm just waiting to see if I can sign off or if someone else got a question for me. What do we got tomorrow while I'm waiting? Jim, if you have a question, feel free to drop it in chat or comment or whatever. Tomorrow, 2-game slate. We have, what would that be? Okay, Bruins, Maple Leafs, nice. Series tied 2-2, so that's going at least 6. Flames, Avs tomorrow as well. Probably a 2-game slate on DK. Possibly a showdown slate because those games are really far apart. And then it looks like on Saturday we're going to have 3. I believe, yeah, okay, Saturday there's 3. Cool. So I'll probably try to do a stream before that first game. Stars Preds starts at 3 Eastern. So maybe I will do a show before that. Do you have any leans besides San Jose for money line wins? Oh, God. Oh, I don't want to. Okay, if you want to just hear who I think is going to win tonight, I think the Sharks are going to win tonight. This is not based on value. I'm not a sports bettor. I have no clue how to make effective sports betting, so I don't want to act like I know like the numbers and see good value on the Sharks money line. I don't even know what the money line is. But I think the Sharks win tonight. I think I am really torn on this one. I think the Blues win, and I think the Hurricanes win. This is the one that we'll see. But I do feel good about the Canes tonight. I really do. All right, guys. For DFS and just from a general hockey perspective, I like watching them. I like watching all these games. So it'll be another fun night. It'll be all night. So you might be up till 1 Eastern or so if you do choose to watch these games. So that's a nice, 6 hours of hockey? That's pretty cool. Ray Rock Blues lose by 3. See, that's the scenario I could see too. Is just Binnington crumbles. Like he's bailed them out a bunch of times, specifically that last game. But man, if he has a bad game here, that place is gonna be rocking. That place is so loud on TV. Man, I'm scared. Winnipeg all of a sudden has woken up. So they're really scary when they're healthy. Last year I was deathly afraid of fading them in regular season and playoffs. So we will see. But yeah, check out Osmo's rankings, of course, stack rankings especially. You're going to want to check those out for GPPs because he probably has some thoughts on which lines are great values and such. So check those out. Check out my stacks article. Check out... I think Bots did the power play article today, so of course look at what Bots is playing, and projections will be updated. So good luck tonight, guys. I will end my rambling